Most modern-day inventions are pretty great, but nothing beats the car. Convenient and a true resource, it's hard to imagine human life where commuting without these four-wheeled beasts was impossible. Even so, in this landscape where new cars are pumped out every few days by various brands, not all cars are worth purchasing, and not all brands are worth looking at twice. Today, we'll be talking about 13 car brands to avoid at all costs. At number 13 is the Ram. Ever since hitting the truck market first in 1981, Ram trucks have provided people with rugged trucks. But despite their experience in the market, today these highly popular trucks aren't just as reliable as other options available nowadays. An actual study on the brand and its trucks revealed that for every 100 vehicles, about 266 problems were experienced by the owners. And now that the company is under the ownership of Fiat, these reliability issues have sparked up more and more. Reports also showed that the entry-level Ram 1500 had the fewest issues of all their trucks, and the larger models, like the 2500 and 3500, had the most problems within the brand. You're better off just staying away and looking for alternatives, to be honest. Number 12 is Volkswagen. Now, is this surprising? Probably, considering just how often one hears that name uttered in car-associated conversations in a positive manner. But let us enlighten you on the brand. You see, while the German manufacturers have gotten a fair bit of fame for putting out top-quality vehicles on the market, not all Volkswagen users are satisfied with the brand in terms of reliability. The research found that there were multiple users of the brand who dislike it due to its lack of reliability, and that the main problem with the automaker is that it can cut costs to provide a somewhat less expensive luxury sports experience. That isn't to say that the company is awful overall, just that if you're looking for a dependable vehicle, a Volkswagen may not be for you. At number 11, we have Volvo. Another fairly popular brand, Volvo's been known to provide affordable insurance costs. In fact, your average Volvo driver pays about $90 per month in terms of insurance, which is a whole $16 less than the average for others in the country. It adds up. But even with these, plus the general brand appeal, there are issues within the car models themselves. For example, there are reliability issues. Powers Research found out that while driving a Volvo, for every 100 vehicles, Volvos have about 256 issues. Now for number 10, Suzuki. A globally popular brand, Suzuki has its own issues, not the least of which is terrible build quality. Yep, the company's vehicles have performed awfully in crash tests, but Suzuki cars are known to be an extremely budget-friendly option. There are also Suzuki's inadequate at worst and subpar at best safety features. But then again, you can't expect much from an affordable company, so it's incredibly hard to find spare parts for Suzuki anywhere, especially in the US and Europe. So be mindful of that. And it may just be us, but the design of the cars are often really mundane and boring. Now, of course, should you choose, you could buy the car, but considering all its aspects, you're better off looking for better alternatives in your budget. At number 9 is Nissan. Often called the world's largest electric manufacturer, is a Japanese brand famous for its appliances. Although it does have a few top-selling cars to its name, it can't be denied that the company has produced, how shall we put it, some complete duds. And like every other car brand on this list, all this inconsistency makes it an unreliable car brand to look out for. Some consumers of the brand have specific complaints as well about non-responsive push-button ignitions, the CVT, and even malfunctioning sensors. More than that, unlike Suzuki or Volvo, these cars are a bit more expensive to keep healthy and fit, as annual maintenance costs are a bit high on these babies. So for example, there's oil leakage in some models, problems with the AEB system in some, and rusty bodywork is part of others. Next, we have number 8, Dodge. Even after being one of the oldest and most recognizable automakers in America, has a few issues of its own. The stylish sports car and the famous work trucks cannot hide the car's fragile dashboards and low-mileage engines. Other complaints include that its lifters fail often, and so do its exhausts. There are also apparent coolant leaks, and you really don't want that. All this and more makes these cars wholly unreliable. And now at number 7, Ford. We bet you're surprised after hearing Ford be a part of this list. After all, aren't their cars pretty famous? Well, apparently the brand has a ton of reliability issues. So much so that consumers have actually put it at the bottom end of the scale. That doesn't mean the brand doesn't offer a positive user experience in some ways. Like, the brand offers fantastic infotainment technology and better fuel economy offering. But even so, there are AC and ventilation issues in car models and also a bit of oil leakage. Other issues that the consumers talk about have to do with the exhaust producing terrible sounds and issues in the ignition system. Steer clear. Number 6, we have Cadillac. No brand, perhaps, has plummeted in quality and driving experience as much as Cadillac in recent years. In fact, the good models of the car company are extremely hard to find. As of right now, the manufacturer received a ton of negative feedback, and consumers are pretty frustrated due to the number of problems they have had to face, thanks to their Cadillacs. Defects in the electrical systems and related to suspension are far from the only issues cars from this brand face, but they are highly potent and found in abundance. There are also your regular engine issues and transmission failure, not to mention the dreadful uncoded Q screen. We can just hope that the brand finds itself again, because this fall from grace is embarrassing. And at number 5 is Hyundai. For being another popular brand on the list, Hyundai sure does disappoint its user base a lot. Well, the cars are produced by the very same manufacturers that produce high-end Japanese cars. Hyundai, in its rush to offer affordability, does fall short. Some significant problems that show up while reviewing some of this brand's specific models included engine failure. The engines were wholly unreliable, leading to increased oil consumption, but that's not even all though. The cars have seatbelt issues and consume a lot of fuel, as mentioned. Also, the crash sensor can work incorrectly a lot, which is unsafe. Next, for number 4, we have Chevrolet. As another unexpected candidate on this list, Chevrolet doesn't disappoint when one starts counting reasons to avoid it. While the brand may offer affordable, unique, and reliable vehicles, a 2019 ranking revealed Chevrolet to be the least reliable car-producing company. The cars tend to have mechanical issues and evap issues, along with their electrical systems have a habit of malfunctioning a lot. A model in particular is even known for causing a lot of injuries and accidents. More reasons to avoid the brand include the fact that their pass lock fails quite often, the fuel level sensor doesn't always work as advertised, and as we said, some models seemed cursed with how fatal they've proven to be. Next, at number 3, Chrysler. One of the oldest car manufacturers, Chrysler has found itself on this list despite being one of the big 3 automobile companies in the US. Owners of the brand's vehicles have cohesively complained about their cars halting suddenly and unexpectedly mid-driving. Some say their cars just shut off while on the road, causing the cars to be unreliable. The quality of the car's interior isn't the best either. Its engines fail often and the transmission is faulty. Now for number 2, we have Jeep. For a brand with a history as legendary and as impactful as Jeep's ends up on this list and apparently all other worst brands lists, there must be some glaring issues within its vehicles. First up, many complained about the car's integrated electronics, and more than a few people have deemed a bunch of automobiles from this brand wobbly to the point of death. Apparently, it gets pretty challenging to control a situation where wobbliness definitely isn't a positive aspect in a car. The car has leakage issues in the exhaust and blocked fuel injectors, not to mention its regular electric malfunctions. And finally, we have number 1, Land Rover. The iconic British brand Land Rover has its positives, like just how popular it is to have the world's most incredible four-wheel drive vehicles. Except, is it? The car models have been noted to have a bunch of issues. In fact, for all of this talk about reliability, this car brand may actually be the worst in terms of that. There are also regular issues with the air suspension systems of the car, as in, they would fail. The cars would have insane leakage issues, air spring failure, and also had problems in the steering shaft. And that's it for this video. What car brand would you put on this list? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching the video, be sure to leave a like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.